Good morning. Hey, gosh, those names went by quick. Good morning, everybody. And replay viewers, and live viewers, and web viewers. Good morning, good morning. Thanks for making my birthday so nice yesterday, guys. Thank you. Hi. Tiffany Cook, hi. Katie, Jananina, Mom. Cups are being shipped out today. This is who I am, real quick, Michelle Wolf. I'm at caddyshackdesigns.com. Hi, Michelle. This is the website, caddyshackdesigns.com. Hi, Rhonda. Across the top of the website is everything that I do. And I keep forgetting to tell you guys that coaching sessions with me include a Reiki session and whatever intuitive impressions come up. Okay. So it's kind of an intuitive coaching Reiki session, kind of. And I bill for an hour, but it's almost always more than that because I just can't stop talking. So good morning. If you want a cup of your own, I am shipping those out today. The cups are $14. The profits from the cups pay for dog food to feed the underfed dogs in our area, because there are 3 that are not being fed properly, and we built a house for them, and it's heated, and they have beds now, and we supplement their owners underfeeding. We supplement. So I figured out that each cup gets you a cup, gets me advertising, and gets the dogs 2 large cans of food. So that's where the profits are going. They're feeding dogs, and you can drink your coffee out of a pretty cup. And this is how you get one. $14 to Singing Wolf through PayPal. So anyway, yeah, we like to feed the dogs, and this is a way to help support the cost of the food, because we have 5 cats too. So we have a lot of rescue animals that we own and that we don't own. And really quick for the Young Living people or oil people, thank you, Michelle. I really like their company too, so it's mutually beneficial. A lot of times we use Copaiba on, I just want to throw this oil thing in real quick. They really do own us. I couldn't find my Copaiba oil and I have a knee injury. So I've been using Valor, which is back in stock. It's not terribly expensive, and it's a nice blend. It's actually working better than the other pain oils on my knee. Oh, good. You're welcome. So anyway, just real quick, you can DM me for information on that. I'm not going to go into it too much, or at all, really. But just to let you know that if you're a Young Living person, or if you're signed up for retail or wholesale, Valor's back in stock. It goes in and out of stock because once the plants are gone, then they don't make any more of the oil until the plants are back. Valor, good for the body. I didn't realize it was so good for joint pain, but it is. Oh, good. Okay, so the reading for today comes from A Course in Miracles, if you're following along in the giant book. And then after I'm done with this, I want to offer you some additional books for us to either start in December or January, so you can think about them and vote on them. This comes from the text, chapter 6. It's a long one. Well, the reading's not long, but it's in chapter 6, section... Ew, there's a bug. Sorry guys. Roman numeral 5, section B, verse 8, number 7. It's long. This section is talking about peace, to have peace, teach peace, to learn it. Anything that we can get a grasp on and start teaching to other people helps us deepen our own understanding. I know, right? I know. I try to just be really still, because it usually will just go away. So it's talking about thought reversal, uh, teaching peace, choosing peace is the first thing you have to do, and then teaching it to yourself or others. It's a step in the direction out of conflict, since it means that alternatives have been considered, okay, and one has been chosen as more desirable. So when we're locked into a position or a story, we won't even think of alternatives. So it's not until we go, this really sucks, and I would like something different, that our brain is like, oh, okay, and it'll relax, and it'll start to give you flashes of insight for different ways to see it. So asking that question, hi Cynthia, asking that question, how can I see this differently? Even if you're asking it in a panicked voice, it will open your brain up to like, oh, well, you could see it this way and you could see it that way, and you can say in that moment that I'd like to choose a peaceful path. Hi, and then it will start to offer you ways to get there. So it's using your mind's problem-solving need for good. Instead of going round and round on problems that it can't solve, you give it a problem to solve. Nevertheless, the term more desirable still implies that desirable has degrees, that there's desirable and more desirable and even more desirable. So that's not the final step. Lack of order of difficulty in miracles has not yet been accepted, because nothing is difficult that is wholly desired. If you desire peace with your whole entire being, or as much as you possibly can, you will get it. And it's not any one thing is not any harder than the other. So desiring peace because you're frustrated in traffic and getting it is no harder than desiring peace when you are suffering a great deal of physical pain. It's just as easy to get there, because all it takes is that decision that you want it. Creating is not difficult. The second step then is still perception, although it's a giant step. Let's see. The second step, progress, is intermittent, but the second step is easier than the first. Realizing it must follow is a demonstration of growing awareness. So the second step, and the one that starts it all rolling, is you make the decision, then you understand, you develop through proving it to yourself over and over, you develop a certainty that it's going to happen. So you ask for it, and then you just go on about your business, and you wait for it to show up. You ask for it in a time of high stress, you ask for peace, and then you just keep breathing and doing what you can do, because you may not feel it immediately. It happens immediately, but it may take a few minutes to a few hours, depending on what you're working with, a few days, for you to be aware of it in your conscious mind. Does that make sense? Like, you ask for help, and then too many times people think, well, I asked for help and I didn't get it. Well, you did get it, but you didn't give your conscious human mind time to catch up. So your soul knows, your heart knows it's on its way, but your mind can talk you into staying with your problem, because you're like, well, I asked for peace and I didn't get it, or I prayed for this and I didn't get it. Well, you got some version of it. So your awareness has to open up to what's already around you. If you're asking for love, guaranteed, if you've got it boxed into a definition of how love is supposed to look, you won't see it, because love is with you all the time. It can be in nature. It can be that moment of peace where you just feel love rise up in your heart without anything triggering it, because it is what you are. So opening your awareness to where love exists right now opens you up to more love, which then can open you up to love and how you'd like it to show up, as expressed through a spouse, or expressed through a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, or a new pet. Pets are great for love, and too many people forget that. Just the act of petting a dog or petting a cat or a hamster or whatever it is that you have lowers your physiologically has immediate effects. It lowers your blood pressure, lowers your heart rate. You start to breathe deeper, and then that love can rise up in you. It's been triggered by the pet, but it's just a reminder of what you are already. I feel like I may be making this more complicated than it needs to be. I guess what the book is saying, there's no order of difficulty in achieving peace. It's not harder in any situation than in any other situation. It's equal across the board because it starts here. It starts with you saying, how can I see this differently? Or I choose peace. I'm in this stressful situation. I certainly don't feel peace right now, but I choose peace. I'm choosing peace. And then you look for it. And then you open your mind up and you look for it. And you have that sense of waiting for it to show up in your conscious mind. Because the minute you ask for it, the divine is moving on your behalf. As soon as you ask for help, it's instantaneously there. There's a time lag sometimes with your awareness of it being there. That's all the time lag is. It's not taking time for your prayer to be answered. Your prayer is answered. Your awareness of it takes time. Does that make any sense at all? That's why people sometimes give up too quick on claiming peace in their world, on asking to see things differently. There's a time gap because we're in a human body, we think with a human mind, and our human body and our human mind are subject to linear time frames to some degree. Sometimes I get to talking and I don't know what I'm saying, so I just have to hope that it makes sense on the other end. It just starts coming out. What I hear a lot when I used to be a therapist and even as a coach, and sometimes random questions I get from people is impatience. We ask for help. We have an idea of what we want to hear. Yes, that's a really good point. We ask for help and we think we know how it's going to come. We think we know what it should be, and it might be something completely different. A lot of people end up, when they're doing this kind of work, they end up with a person we miss the divine guidance we are getting. Yeah, because we've predefined it. We've said help in this way. I need help in this kind of package. Help me with this kind of script. There's like a subscript going on. Instead of saying help me and being totally open to how that looks. And asking, please help me be aware of you, divine beloved. Please help me be aware of when you're in my life, when things are showing up for me. Increase my awareness. I'm working on increasing your awareness. Is an amazing, life-changing activity. We constrict ourselves. Yes, we do. When we slap a label on something, we shut the doors to anything that doesn't match it. But when people are open, especially people who are looking for a relationship, like a partner relationship, a romantic thing, if they're open, they often end up with someone they never would have expected. Like the thing about where you make a list of your future spouse or whatever, and you carry that around in your wallet for 50 years or whatever. People who are open to receiving what's their highest good, that person very rarely matches that list, because we typically make a list that describes ourselves or our idea of our best selves, and what we usually get is what we need, not necessarily what we say we want. Because massive growth and massive complementary change can come from someone who's really not like you. So when we try to make another person, whether that's a boss or a coworker or a spouse or whatever, when we try to make them like us, we always run afoul, because that's not where your growth comes from. You already know you. Go out and know somebody different. Go out and get to know someone whose worldview is completely opposite of yours. And you may never agree with them, and it's probably not going to change your worldview. It definitely opens your heart more to compassion and understanding for other people, how they see the world. And then it helps check your arrogance, our natural human arrogance of thinking that we know the one right way to be. If you meet a dozen people and kind of interview them how they see the world, you start to learn really quickly that your way is right for you, but it may not be right for the person next to you. And your way is probably different than it was 10 years before, if you're old enough to be that, have a 10-year comparison. The way I see things now is certainly not the way I saw them 10 years ago. Not even close. Not even 5 years ago. So, that's what the book is talking about today. Having peace means recognizing it, that you need it, that you want it, then making the choice of it. And the process of choosing can be, how can I see this differently? This person, this situation, this job, whatever, this traffic, how can I see this differently? You stop fighting the reality of what is, and then you start to increase your ability to see what is around you, where it's already present. So if whatever you're asking for in your life, let me bottom line and end this section with this. Whatever you're asking for in your life, whatever you're pursuing, ask yourself, where do I have it already? Where have I got it right now? Even if it's not in like a tangible physical form, where do I have the energy of it now in my life? And you find that little piece and you work on expanding that feeling so that you can begin to attract more of that feeling. So if you're pursuing success, find an area in your life where you're already successful. Maybe you don't feel successful in your employment, but you feel successful in your ability to ride a bike or, mountain bike or lift weights or take care of your body. Maybe you're really good at taking care of your body. You don't feel like you're really good at work, but if you're successful in one place, you can transfer that feeling of competence and confidence and success into the area where you don't feel it right now. You can transfer it over because you've got it somewhere. If you're asking for it, you've already got it somewhere in your life. So look around and see if you can find it. It might be subtle. A lot of people ask for love and they're surrounded by love, but it's not wearing the package that they think it should. Even if it's just your dog or cat or your parakeet or your turtle. Although I don't get the whole turtle reptile thing. I just don't. Speaking of gross things, there was a salamander in the house last night. Yeah. Yeah, look under the bed. Check your closets. Look in your shoe boxes. Salamanders are gross. I don't understand how they get in the house. Fortunately, I saw the cat chasing it down the hall, and I was able to slam the bedroom door and lock them out before they got in. Because they love to just... I wonder if that bee is attracted to the Valor oil that I'm wearing. I would really like you to go away. Go away, bee. Okay. Salamanders? Yeah, anywhere that there's water. Oh, they're so gross. I don't kill them, but I don't seek them out. If they're in the house, I just pretend I don't see them and hope that they go away, and they usually do. So for December 1st, I feel like switching books. Either I can stay with A Course in Miracles if people are really digging it, but I at least want to add a different book. Yeah, I think that's probably what happens. Cats are assholes. They are. I love them. I have 5 of them, but they are jerks. I don't know why they're designed that way. I don't know of any other animal that has such fun playing with their prey before they kill it. They're gross. So, there's a couple of options. 3 options that I'm willing to dive into, either in addition to A Course in Miracles or in place of A Course in Miracles starting December 1st. This book is called 1,000 Names for Joy, and it is connected to the Tao Te Ching. So there's 81 chapters in the Tao, and she has covered all of them in this book as it relates to stories, the stories we tell ourselves. We talk about this a lot. Picking apart your story, looking at the story you're telling yourself, and deconstructing it. And you're actually ending back up in a place where the Course in Miracles says you belong. It's just a slightly different way of looking at it. So here's this one that popped open. When I don't look for approval outside of me, I am approval. And through inquiry being the process of what story am I telling myself, I have come to see that what I want you to approve of, through inquiry, I have come to see that I want you to approve of what you approve of because I love you. Same message, different words. What you approve of is what I want because it's what you want. And because I love you, I would not want you to want anything other than what you want. I don't want you to want what I want. I want you to want what you want. That's love. It wouldn't change anything. Divine, beloved, love, energy doesn't seek to change us. It just always offers us an invitation to come home. But it doesn't say, come home or I'm going to beat your ass. Or you're stupid for not coming home. Or if you don't come home right now, you're going to die. There's nothing like that attached to it. It's just there on a platter for you to pick it up or not. And there's no judgment attached to that. Love already has everything it wants. It already is everything it wants, just the way it wants it. Unconditional acceptance 100% of the time. So that's one thing we could do. We could read the Tao Te Ching chapter and then read the corresponding chapter in this book. So you don't have to buy the book if you don't want to, because I can read it to you. There's long chapters, but most of them are not. The long ones I would probably just condense down for the interest of time, because as much as we'd like to, we can't stay on Periscope all day. Although it's fun, isn't it? I like to have days where I just surf Periscope. So there's that option. And you don't have to answer me now. 1,000 Names for Joy is an option. And this will be December 1st. The other one is The War of Art, that most, if not all of you, probably should have a copy of. At least a digital copy. When it was on sale and I went bananas and, spread those all over the place. So The War of Art is pretty short. It's actually so short, and these messages in all these books are the same. So it's just a different way of looking at them. Yes. So The War of Art is an option. This one would take about 2.5 months. Then this one would take probably another 2.5 months to go through. The other option is the Women, Food, and God book by Janine Roth. Again, same bottom line message is how we're resisting connections to Source because it makes us uncomfortable in the beginning, right? It's uncomfortable in our body, so we eat it, we stuff it, we argue it, we obsess it away instead of taking the time to get comfortable. And she's talking about how we use and misuse food to feel or not feel our own power and our own connection to Source. So let's flip this open and see what we get. To stay, you have to believe there is something worth staying for, and then you have to bring yourself back again and again. To stay present in your body is what she's talking about. So to stay present here, in the now, in this moment, and not fight reality, you have to believe that there's a reason for it. You have to believe that it's worth the effort that it takes to keep coming back to your body and coming back to the present and coming back to now. You have to stop fighting against now and work with it. The initial glimpse of wonder, of love, of possibility, of expansion becomes a commitment to returning, to bringing yourself back each time you bolt. How many times a day do you bolt away from yourself, away from the present moment? I do it a lot. I catch myself a lot, but I do it a lot still. Wander away from the present. Compulsive eating is an attempt to avoid the absence of love, comfort, certainty. When we find ourselves in the desert of a particular moment, feeling, or situation, in the process of resisting the emptiness, in the act of turning away from our feelings, we ignore what could actually totally transform us. So in the act of rejecting this connection, it's so insane, right? We run around saying we want to feel better, and then we actively reject and push away violently sometimes the very thing that would make us feel better. That's the craziest part of it all. We want to feel good, and then we do everything we can to make sure that we don't. Just because we're asleep. We're asleep at the wheel. Visit that website. Yeah. I mean, when you really get that and think about it on a daily basis, it is cray-cray. It's totally crazy pants. What are we doing? What are we doing? I really believe we do it because we just don't know how it feels to live connected, and it's scary. What do you think about? If you're living connected, what do you think about all day? How do you live your life? How do you pay your bills? Eckhart Tolle says you use your logical mind when you need it. When you need to balance your checkbook, you use your mind for what its intended purpose is, to deal with this reality, to look for a job or balance a checkbook or write a letter or wash the dishes, go get groceries. You use your mind for that, but you maintain your awareness of everything else at the same time. So getting comfortable with thinking of large concepts together in the same thought. And also you find appreciation for washing the dishes. You don't fight against washing the dishes. You just wash the damn dishes, which can be a holy experience if you let it. I wasn't feeling very holy as I loaded the dishwasher last night. I was actually feeling kind of grossed out because when my husband makes burritos, I think they stink. Something in the chili he uses I think smells terrible. So I wasn't feeling very holy. I was like, it's my birthday and I have to load the dishwasher? Yuck. So think about that. December 1st, let's either start a different book or let's add a book. So I'd like to hear from you on Twitter or tomorrow or whatever. You can let me know. And then let's pick a book to start with. 1,000 Names for Joy, which is a study of the Tao Te Ching. All of these are valuable. Women, Food, and God, we can do. Or War of Art, we can do. And don't feel like you have to run out and buy. We could alternate. That's an option. The Tao Te Ching. So we have one vote for this one. We could alternate. We could do Course in Miracles 3 days a week and a different book 4 days a week. This one. I like this one too. This is the one. I've had this book. I read this book a long time ago. And I was like, wow, I would really like to live this way. The way she talks about. This was in 2010, 2009. And I knew I wasn't living this way. And I really wanted to. And so I thought about this last night, and I was like, I think I might be living this way now, or pretty close to it. I think I may be spending more of my days, like she talks about in here, than the way I was feeling in 2009. 2009 was a shit year. 2010 wasn't great. Actually, 2010, the only thing really good about it is that my husband and I got married. That was a shit year, too. Like, massively, a couple of really shitty years. Learned a lot. Who cares? They were still shitty years. Don't you hate that? Well, I learned a lot. Well, of course you did. You're not an idiot. Who wouldn't learn something from a couple of shitty years? I think so too. I think so too because it's what we talk about anyway. It's just a slightly different approach. So, alternate. 1 day Course in Miracles, 1 day Tao Te Ching. 1 day Christianity, 1 day Buddhism. Although I don't know if the Tao, is it Zen? Is it really Buddhism? I think it's just more a philosophy. Well, Buddhism is a philosophy. Don't listen to me, I'm babbling. All right, let's do that. Let's start not November 1st. Yeah, we can start whenever we want. Let's start next week. Let's finish this week out on Course in Miracles. And then Sunday we'll start with this. And we'll alternate. We'll just do them all. I can't. I'm only one person. And then when we're done with this, then we'll start alternating with one of the other ones. We'll just work our way through the whole year. Ooh, we're ambitious. We can do it. This is nothing. This is easy. Taking it out in the world and practicing it every day, that's the hard part. Okay. Again, if you want your own Caddyshack cup, you can get that here. And by doing so, you get a cup. And the dogs get fed. They'll get fed anyway, but it helps offset the cost of feeding their little furry butts. Any questions? Anything you need help with? Remember the Valor for physical pain? Catherine uses it for her back. I've been using it on my knee, and I've been kind of surprised that it's helping. Helping in that, similar to when you put on Bengay or Aspercream or something, it feels immediately better. It's helping in that way. It doesn't smell too bad either. It smells pretty good. Okay, that's all I have. What's today? Tuesday? So I'll talk to some of you this evening. And otherwise, I'll be back. The next Desire Map Workshop's in January. If you want information about that, it's on my Twitter feed, or you can just DM me. Knowing a certain time. Once you said about knowing a certain time of year. I don't remember. Like an anniversary date? Like if something bad happened in August of 2009. Yes. Yeah, it's anniversary anxiety. Are you having that? It's an anniversary trauma. Yeah. So, if something horrible happens to you in the spring, sometimes for years afterward, in the spring, you'll get anxious. That's what you mean? No? No. Okay, I'm going to wait and let you tell me. Oh, the traveling. So he's traveling again and you're anxious? Because you guys have a pattern of anxiety set up now? I'm supposed to hold this here. Preemies birth in July. Okay, here's how you get prepared for that. Tell yourself the truth. You handle it the same way that you handled it the last time. You tell yourself the truth about the situation. That's the only way to break those trauma patterns, is to coach yourself through it. I really am uncomfortable with this cup thing. I know we have to do it because people need to know who we are when they pop in and out, but it just feels really awkward. So maybe I'll get used to it. When you have an anxious situation coming up, you need and you want to prepare for it. You remind yourself that you have told yourself a story and now you're freaking out about it. I don't even know if I can. Awkward. A mind that's in fear, a mind that is panicking, a mind that is anxious is believing a lie. Okay? So what's the lie? The lie is that you can control that situation. You can't. The lie is what happened last year in the spring is going to happen again to me now. It's not true. So you have to talk to yourself a lot. You have to journal to yourself a lot. You have to breathe a lot. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. You have an anxious situation coming up, whatever it is. July feels scary because something scary happened in July. Your husband's packing his bags and your stomach starts to knot up. and you start to shallow breathe and you start to feel anxious, you might want to pick an argument. I don't know if that's what you're doing, but some people will pick an argument because they don't know what to do with all that anxiety. What you do with anxiety is the very first step. Step number 1, breathe. Breathe. Breathe deeply and slowly several times a day. Every time you feel yourself in your stomach doing this, breathe so you can do this. When you have anxious thoughts, your body reacts as if a tiger is waiting for you outside your door. Do you get diarrhea, Linda? Do you throw up? When your stomach clenches, you have to breathe. Deep, slow breathing moves. Remember? Okay, under stress, your body moves all its attention back here to survival, so you cannot think straight. When you're breathing and anxious and you're telling yourself a story in your head, your body reacts as if there's a tiger waiting outside your door. It doesn't know the difference. So you breathe to tell your body, hey body, it's okay. Just freaking out over a story in my head. Here's some extra oxygen, so you don't need to go pushing all our blood flow back to the reptilian part of our brain. We need to bring that back forward so we can remember what we need to do. When you're first learning this stuff, you've got to write yourself a Post-it note or something, a cell phone alarm, something to remind you to catch yourself. Well, oh, I see. Definitely don't force that issue, because then you won't feel very good. It might be punishment right now. Well, then just don't. Just say, sorry, bud. I'm working on breaking this pattern. He knows that you're trying to break that pattern. So just say, sorry, you're not getting any, because I've still got this pattern. It's too new. It's too new, right? So this is a long-term pattern for you. It's too new. It's too fresh. You're only just now practicing on working with it. Yeah, I think you guys talk about it, right? Openly? Yeah, definitely tell him why. Don't just reject him, because then to him it probably will feel like punishment. But I also suspect he loves you enough that he wouldn't want to be intimate if you weren't feeling it. Yeah. So just be real clear with him. Like, hey, I know that this is my problem, and it's a reaction to something you did, but I'm working on handling it differently. You can do that too. You can ask yourself, how can I see this differently? How can I see this situation differently? How can I use this opportunity to practice what I've been learning in Michelle Scopes every morning for the last 3 months? August, September, October, 2 months. First step, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Sharing how you're feeling. Yeah, because I know your husband loves you, and he's not, I'm guessing that he would not want you to be intimate with him if you feel anxious and tangled up about it. I don't think most loving men would want that. I don't think that would feel very good to them. First step, breathe. Use your oil. Use your Stress Away or your Citrus Fresh or whichever one it is you're using in the workshop. Then remind yourself your mind is freaking out over a story, an event that isn't over. It's in the past. And this is how you see it. You're holding out a banana. That's an interesting metaphor. He's got the banana, Linda. He's the banana carrier. Well, maybe you are. And that's okay too. It's okay. If you're feeling petty and punish and vengeful about it, accept that and be okay with it. And know that you're moving into somewhere different. But accepting it and being aware of it and being open about it. Let's get straight on who's got the banana first. If you're being petty and vengeful, acknowledge that you're a human being and you're being petty and vengeful, because that's what human beings do sometimes. And so you're being petty and vengeful, and you're trying to change that. You're taking action steps to change how you respond to his traveling. He's not going to stop traveling. You can't control his behavior, whether he's in the house or out of the house. Talking to him helps him to know and understand what you're going through, and we can't read minds, unfortunately. Yes, we cannot. You can only deal with yourself. So you breathe, you remind yourself that these are things that happened in the past, and how do I want to see this differently now? How do I want to respond to this differently now? What are the positives of him traveling? Do you like having the bed all to yourself? What are the positives of him being gone? It gives you an opportunity to focus on your own internal processes. It gives you an opportunity to practice overcoming a challenging pattern that you have. And you're going to feel great when the day comes that he packs his bags and your stomach doesn't clench up. When he's packing his bags and you still feel like being intimate with him. That day's going to come. You get more me time. These are the things you tell yourself. Because now you have a negative association. So you have to break that association. When he's packing his bags, you start telling yourself, ooh, I get the bed myself. I get more me time. I can play whatever music I want. I can snore and I don't have to worry about it. I can roll over and fart and I don't have to worry about it. I can just totally be myself, 100%. If I need to cry, I cry. If I need to be mad, I be mad. That you start telling yourself that. Write it down if you have to. Break the association of the bags being packed and a memory of something horrible that happened before. That's the practical steps you have to take. You have to keep reminding yourself. You have to keep telling yourself. You've broken record your own mind. When I told Dan why I was lashing out at him a few weeks ago, he said he didn't blame me and he'd be mad too. Yeah. We don't give him enough credit sometimes. Linda, it's the same as if the new puppy you have had been kicked by a particular person. So say your new puppy had been, while he was still a street puppy, got kicked by a man and now is scared of men. You have to break the association by pairing good things with men. So you break the association of him getting ready to travel by doing good things for yourself while that's happening. Pat yourself on the head. I get that you're scared. I get that this reminds you of stuff that happened in the past. And how can we see this differently now? And what are the cool things that are going to happen once Daddy's out of the house? Breathe first, then tell. Before you do anything, start breathing. Breathe first, then talk. And all these things can happen at the same time. Breathe your oil. Have the conversation. Let him know there's light at the end of the tunnel. And it will happen. A day will come that you will find yourself not even reacting at all to his getting ready to travel again. Yeah. Stop the shallow breathing and the heart pounding, and then you'll remember what to do. You can't remember what to do when your body's freaking out. Because in that moment, your body only cares about surviving. And you'll get there. You will get there. You absolutely can change this. I'm sure you've changed hard things in the past, and you absolutely can change this too. My phone's ringing. My phone never rings. Must be a telemarketer. We get a lot of calls from the Fraternal Order of Police. I don't know if they're particularly broke. Thanks, Michelle times 2. Both of them Michelles. Make sense? Breathe first, then evaluate. Breathe first, then tell yourself the truth. Publishers Clearinghouse! Pew! I need to run in there and get it. It is kind of annoying that it's just going on and on. Oh, I think it just quit. I've been waiting for that phone call for years. Do you know how many freaking magazines I ordered? Picture us by your side. Yes, we are your silent cheerleaders. You can channel us all. cheering you on. You can do it, Linda. You can do it. Remind yourself that no matter what happens, you are a strong lady. And you're going to be just fine. You can overcome it all. You have the power of the divine at your fingertips all the time. And you can always send us a group message on Facebook or whatever, too. Woohoo! The more you talk, the less anxiety there is, because it's all out in the open. Hiding it, even the petty and vengeful parts of ourselves, when we hide them, we just increase that shame. We just make it harder and harder to shift. Shame busters. Who are you going to call? You're going to call your Perry family shame busters. Yeah. Hey, you could put it in your Perry fam Facebook group. Yo. I feel comfortable doing that. It was great. It was very productive. Got a lot done. Always feels good to get a lot done. Very productive. Very productive day walking with Spirit yesterday. Felt connected to Spirit all day long. It was awesome. Plus, you can't go wrong with chocolate cupcakes that somebody else makes for you. And the husband made gluten-free chocolate cupcakes, so I was super happy about that. Drove all the way into town to get the mix, because we didn't have any. It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's freedom, that's what that is. And sometimes fear is actually excitement. He's a keeper. Yeah, he is. It was nice of him. He makes cupcakes for me pretty often. A little too often, probably. He likes to cook. Thank God. I like to cook too, but I get distracted and focused on my work. Sharing is good for you and you feel safe here. Yeah, that's freedom right there, honey bunny. That's freedom. Freedom! We'll have a Braveheart moment. It's Braveheart Tuesday. Freedom! B. Lent, you're probably happy you just joined right in. You got that blast of freedom. That's your Braveheart quote for the day. Woohoo! You're allergic to the kitchen. And that's funny. Is Tanya here? I think she said she doesn't like cooking either. Hi. Oh, you're the one with the little, is that a French bulldog? I've seen your picture before, and I love the puppy. It looks like a French bulldog puppy to me. I don't know what it actually is. But my name's Michelle Wolf, and you can find about everything about me. God, you guys. At caddyshackdesigns.com. Tabs across the top tell you what I do. I'm practicing holding my cup like this. It's not easy. That's some skill right there. Oh, Roseanne, I spelled your last name wrong too. I'm sorry. You should have your samples. And I realized the other day I spelled your last name wrong. And names are important, so I apologize for that. That's terrible. Any other questions, concerns, comments? We're going to do, for people popping in late, we're going to, oh, I'm sorry. That's terrible news. People misspell my last name a lot, too. Because I have two Fs. People like putting an E on the end, or just one F. But Wolf with two Fs is the German spelling, and the E is the, yes, go vote. Course in Miracles every day until Sunday. Then we're going to do, you're changing it soon. To what? Then we're going to do 1,000 Names for Joy, which is the short reading from the Tao Te Ching, and then the corresponding reading from this book. And we'll do, or Course in Miracles on the opposite days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, because Shoemaker. Shoemaker's spelled like a zillion different ways, too. You're getting married! Congratulations! Oh, That's great news. Yay. Yay for getting married. Yes, Byron Katie's starting Sunday. Course in Miracles Monday. We're going to flip-flop back and forth. The Byron Katie book that corresponds with the Tao Te Ching. Yay, you! Awesome! That's great! What's your new last name going to be? Roseanne? Well, there's a lot of B's. Sunday. Sunday this book. Monday this book. Oh, but you're getting married this weekend, so you might miss them. How long do you think it'll be before people are scoping from their weddings, like while it's happening? How tacky would that be? Put a little camera on your shoulder and scope your vows. People will if they haven't done it already. They're scoping their sex acts. What's this? Scoping a wedding is a little less offensive. A date for... Yeah, super tacky. You need a date for a wedding. Yeah, you don't want to run across those. It's best to stay off rehearsal scopes. Yeah, that'd be okay. I'd prefer to see the wedding. Oh, you can't decide on a date. So you're getting married, but you haven't picked a date. What's a good date for a wedding? I think fall weddings are beautiful. I think fall weddings are the best. Let's pick a date. Let me open up my calendar. Let's pick a date. You might want to consult an astrologer, of which I am not. How fast can you do this? Can it be the week before Thanksgiving? Yeah, I would ask them. What's a good date? Let them help you pick. Because I used to think that Mercury retrograde stuff was nonsense. I don't really think that anymore because things really do seem to go screwy when the planets are doing different things, which isn't that hard to conceptualize, I guess, because we are pulled and tugged on by the moon's closeness or distance from our Earth. Like, it affects our tides, and we are water, so it affects how we feel. It affects our physical bodies. It affects the animals, so why wouldn't Mercury doing something different mess us up too? I guess there's some logic in it all. Okay, that's all I got. I gotta go into town. Mail some cups. 4 cups are going out today. 4 cups equals 8 cans of dog food. If you want your own cup, you can get it here. PayPal.com, $14, which includes shipping. I'm not charging shipping or tax or anything. It's all in there together. I don't think the shipping's going to be that much. Yep, I'm going right now. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow, Wednesday, for more how to use Course in Miracles in practical, day-to-day, mundane life. How to make your mundane life magical. All right. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye. Bye. See you tomorrow. When you pick your date, let us know so we can send cool energy to you on that day because you'll be stressed out, probably. Maybe not. Okay, bye all. Let us know how you're doing, Linda.